Ben was not through with me. He wanted to be king of the hill. He figured I'm king of the hill. So he says, look, you're an undefeated wrestler, and I know you're not going to beat me, and I'm not going to beat you, but you're not going to beat me. So we meet down the library, the East End. Now just think, football players do go to the library. We went to the library. We got down Mount Auburn Street, down to Walnut Street, and here we are near the Lewis Shepherd. There's a big light there on the street, nice grass. I says, Ben, this seems a suitable place. He says, yeah. So we turn around, we're in position, we're going to wrestle. He wants to beat me. He says he can't, and I can't beat him. We get in position, boom, 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 I pinned him. He got up, there's something wrong, you know. We started again. Boom, 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 I pinned him again. Jesus, something's wrong, so we started again. 3 times, Jesus, Jocko, you're strong, he said. So he gave up trying to wrestle me. But Ben was, so Ben was not through with me. He was a fast runner. And we get down the Victoria Spa, like they said, and he looks down to Elton Avenue and he says, 120 yards down there, Jocko, I'm going to race you. Oh boy, I'm in trouble. I am in trouble. So I simulates taking the Superman sweater and I put it right on me, and the big S there, Superman. I brainwashed myself. This is the true story. We ran down that street. Now I'm Superman, and he's the fast runner. We get down the street, halfway down, he's still with me. 2/3 of the way down, no Ben. What the hell's Ben? He stopped. I won the race, so he cannot be Superman. He can't be no more king of the hill. Yeah. Anyway, back to football. The coach Ed Ward, like I said, got us around in the football field, and he says, well, tomorrow we're going over to Belmont to play the Thanksgiving game, and he says, they're going to fire me if we don't win. If we lose the game, they're firing me. What the hell is he telling us for, you know? And what's the situation? Belmont is undefeated. Belmont's undefeated, and this coach wants us to beat them. We won 4, lost 4, but we had a great line. Don't forget what I told you. A great line, and we put those big S's on Superman, and I went around and talked to each of our linemen, and those linemen held, and they got 6 points. I don't know how the hell they did, but we scored 6 points, and the game was tied at the end, 6-6. It was a moral victory, and the coach's job actually was saved. And I want you to notice that 11 men played, and the coach never dared take anyone out of that game. We used to have 4 or 5 subs, but they didn't come in. And that's a record. I think that'll never be broken, 11 men of the team. Now, we have a guy over there, Arthur Craig. 40 years he taught math at middle school in Belmont. But his real expertise is history of sports history. I want him to look that up. Watertown in 1932 played 11 men, and that's it. And that's an honor. So then, I want to say this. The coach rewarded us. In our report cards, he gave us A+. Did you ever hear of A+ on a report card? We won that game, and he gave us A+. And 11 men played the game. That's a record. Now, Waltham, I want you to know, Joe Zeno's from Waltham, and we went there. I'll tell you the truth. There was 2 games in the same day. That's another record. Arthur Craig, look it up. Two games we had in one day. One was with Arlington. We lost 18-6. First, second team. The other game was in Arlington, and we lost 33-0. But 2 games, how the hell did they ever do that? I don't know. But this Waltham team came down with Joe Zeno, and we were a great line, and we knocked their quarterback, Blakaitis. We knocked him out. He took him to the hospital, And then we tied the game 6-6 because he was the forward passer. Remember, I said we had a good line, so their forward passer was gone. So, anyway, I told you about 1987, Coach Mike Ditka of the Chicago Bears. He turned around and he had this Bill Perry as a refrigerator, he called him. I said, trees, 1986 or 7. I did that in 1930. So we went to wrestling. John McNeely was the assistant principal, and he came with us to Weymouth, drove us down there, and what happened, it was a long period, so he says, Jocko, let's go home. I'll give you 1 minute and 7 seconds, he says. You pin the guy, and we go home. I says, okay. I jumped in, wrestled a guy, and it seemed like all day. Finally, I got him, and the game, it was over, and the announcer says, Watertown won the time in 1 minute and 7 seconds. So that, yeah. All right. So there's only one more thing here. There's only one more thing. We kept playing baseball, and Ernie Menino, I'll tell you, was a great pitcher, shortstop, self-made hitter, and trained at Harvard. We trained him for Harvard and all those. He was everything at Harvard, and I want to thank Ernie because he was with us all the time. We had a great baseball team. The point I want to bring out is when I went to his office, he said, you know, I'm in his office. He's a PhD and a doctor, and he says, look, this is the decision you would have made. You would have made this decision. I says, look, this guy's a PhD and a doctor, and he thinks I'll make all those decisions, and he was the smart fellow, and he really did. Now, I want to mention about Bob Norton here. He was the main speaker a few years ago when we have 35 years we've been running the Watertown Belmont football dinner, and Bob Norton came there, and I told Bob, I said, I know your father, Skinny Norton, and Skinny was Captain Skinny Norton of the Watertown Police. And I want to know, Governor Weld appointed to me chairman of the Massachusetts State Boxing Commission. I just want to introduce my son, Jack V. Ananian. Where is Happy Jack? Is he there? And my wife, Phyllis. I said to my wife, Phyllis, what did you see in me? I says, you know, you married me. He says, well, you don't smoke, you don't drink, and he says, you undefeated wrestler. Those things got her, and that's what happened. That's the way it happened heading west. Hey, hey.